A lot of people in their life, they always think, oh, how come my life is so unfulfilling? How come my life? No one ever say, oh, my life is very fulfilling. Every time they grumble. So fulfilling. Why these people always got this kind of attitude towards me? Why this and why that? No. In this world of goodness, goodness comes from where? From the heart. The way we think. We call it Sankaraman. Sankaraman means what? The Mara from the thinking. The Mara. The Mara is amounting to unwholesome state of mind, unwholesome thinking. Arise from where? From our own mind. Not from other place, outer space. No. Everything arises, every thought moment, whether they are good or evil, unwholesome or wholesome, arise from within our own mind. That's why we are taught to be mindful. We are taught to be aware, alert of whatever thought. That's why with mindfulness as is God, we are able to address whatever thinking process that emerge into our mind. And if we notice that this thought is unwholesome, and by reacting to it, now who suffer? We suffer, who suffer? And because of this suffering we have within our own mind, instead of reflecting that how can we undo this thing, now we start to point finger externally. Oh, my suffer because this person caused me to suffer. My suffer because of this event, that event. And this is the problem with mankind, with human beings. If we know that we have this issue, then we look into ourselves. Okay, what's wrong with me? How can I solve this unwholesome state of mind that keep emerging, keep arising in my mind? What's wrong with me? What's wrong? Keep asking, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, because of what? Wrong thinking. Because we keep encouraging all this kind of unwholesome state of mind to arise within us. And our mindfulness is not strong. We lack of what? Wisdom. And the way we contemplate or the way we consider things is in line with our liking and disliking, in line with our greed, hatred, delusion, with our ego, with our pride. And this is how human beings suffered. If we were to develop mindfulness, if we develop the base of calmness within ourselves, we see clearly when the Buddha talk about avijja, not knowingness, ignorant state of mind is the cause of suffering. And when you talk about suffering, it's not bodily suffering, because bodily suffering or sickness, we can just approach the doctors and they can give medicine and we can eliminate or elevate the suffering, reduce the suffering, and we can get well and get better like COVID. But the suffering of your mind, the suffering of these suppositions, labeling, keep labeling, keep talking up there, and not being able to find the right balance in how you think. It's off balance because why? We have been sabotaged by the essence of greed, hatred, and delusion, especially anger, unsatisfactory, non-agreeable. And this is how people suffered. They got so remorse, so dislike, so much anger in the mind. And this is the cause of the suffering. So how can we quench? Or how can we find a way out? You see, is to develop what? Mindfulness, logical reasoning. Instead of keep letting the mind to label things, to be what thing we want it to be, we slow down and say, okay, we should slow down. We should come back to this present moment and look into our mind. Why my mind suffers so much? Why? And when you keep contemplating, you come to a state of calmness where the mind doesn't think, right? The state of peacefulness that arises within our mind. Then you can see the contrast, the differentiation between a mind that is full of thoughts of past and future and a mind state that is peace, calm, cool, reasonable. This is something we should develop. We want happiness, worldly happiness that we are all running after. You can only use it for a short period of time. We can achieve all those things that we have achieved, but yet, after we receive what we have, we're not happy anymore. We want some more. You see how the mind shoot up again. I want some more. You keep going. And this is how we call developments of external things. This is how things get moving without a border, without a target. But if we have a target, if we have a deadline for ourselves, then okay, this is what I'm going to do. The mind has overboard. The mind has so much suffering. So how to calm it now? In the Buddha's teaching, we emphasize so much about mindfulness training, so much about calming the mind down, so much about having insight arises. And have we achieved that? If we haven't achieved that, then we won't find the real happiness. Then we should work towards this target, right? Instead of getting involved with those things that doesn't pertain to this target, and you keep spinning externally. Your mind must move inward, not external. Then the mind can stop. That's why when you talk about inner happiness and why you look at the homeless people, like homeless, we are the homeless people. We don't own anything. Food has been reduced. A lot of things has been reduced. But yet because of the support, instead of reduce, we saw everything so like increasing. And again, we can't blame the lay people for being so generous because people want merits, right? It is individuals that got to exercise self-control. And this is more important. That's why we talk about real problem doesn't arise externally. Some people might make statement about, this, so much in it, so much that. When people bring too little, grumble again. Too much, grumble again. Why? If they bring too little, just bear with it. If bring too much, just control yourself, that's all. That's why if you are wise, if you have the wisdom, if you are mindful, you say that all these things happen, external things, they are the thing as they are. People come, people go, it's okay. But our mind state, how we perceive it, how we take it, is very, very important because it's going to reflect on our own mind state, right? Because we are the own owner of our own actions, head to our actions, born of action, related to our actions, and live dependent on our actions. So it's very fair. It's very fair. So what we do is what we get now. So bear in mind, as a practitioner, regardless of whether you are a monk or whether you are lay people, right? When you close your eye, there's no supposition, no labeling at all. It's just your own mind state. Now, your mind state, this mind state of yours now, how is it faring? Be very honest and look into your own mind state. How is it faring now? Is it happy or is it unsatisfied, angry, jealous, or sad, remorse, regret? And why? You got to dig it in order to eradicate, to remedy the problem that is existing within ourselves. We got to solve this problem within ourselves. Then we can attain this real happiness within our own mind. So don't neglect all this goodness that you have been performing all this while in terms of the sila, samadhi, panya. Remember, external things may change, right? The way of doing things, the way of delivering, your practice may vary, but sila, samadhi, panya, or sila is what? The precept. Samadhi, concentration practice, panya, the wisdom will never change. It will stay forever. Because why? This is the only way out for our own deliverance of our own mind. Okay? And that will be the sharing for today. And the monks will give the blessing now. Actually, I've been repeating about sickness, the terminology for sickness many times. A lot of people, they were quite scared and quite worried when COVID first hit the world. So the minute it was declared pandemic, wow, everybody just so worried what is going to happen next, which normal. But if you are a practitioner, if you practice meditations, and especially when you are a person who always contemplate on your body, how does sickness arises? The body, the Buddha's teaching stated very, very clearly that this body of ours is full of sickness, and we cannot deny. It's just that certain viruses or certain microvirus. We cannot see by the naked eyes, but they are moving around within our body. Even the scientists nowadays proven this body of ours actually is made up of the 4 elements. And because of the element externally unbalanced, we call it the global warming, or but in Buddhist term we say the elements of imbalance of elements. The water is imbalanced, the heat, the sun is imbalanced, the wind imbalanced, the earth imbalanced. So what's going to happen? It creates disaster. And we human beings, there is a depending on this earth and these 4 elements to depend on. We will be affected by the heat, the water, the cold, and so forth. So because of the imbalance of the element, it affects those people who are weak, the elements of this body of ours. And because due to this present modern era, the lifestyle we are living in is very hectic, a lot of pressure, both physically and mentally. Tasks resulted in this improper diet, improper rest, the timing, the diet, and that causes sickness, the imbalance of your elements. So when your elements of the body is imbalanced, we call it the immune system will be down. We use some medical term. The immune system will be down. So when the immune system is down, your body will fall sick. Now, and when it falls sick, it have so many kinds of symptoms that arise within our body. When you have eyes problem, you have sore eyes, red eyes, and so forth. And different terminology will be labeled accordingly to the different parts of the body, and likewise to the scientists who make the research on that kind of disease. To us, if you were to meditate in meditation, and if you were to break out these 4 elements of ours, when we say break out, that means you contemplate and try to make your whole body to these 4 elements: earth, wind, water, and fire. Now, which element gives the label? Labeling comes from where? From our own mind. And because of this unknowingness of this labeling, it creates fear. Human beings are always like that. They're always fearful of the unknown, unseen, doubts. So if you practicing correctly, if you practice and meditate, calm your mind down, contemplate the body of yours, and you really see the truth of the Dhamma, the truth of the universe, the elements, then you won't be affected. Even though your body may feel sick, but that is the sickness of the body. But the mind won't have that kind of fear or worries, because you look through things very clearly. This truth Dhamma really drill and implant in our mind. That's why meditation is so important in our practice as a Buddhist. Dana has been easily practiced, and observing of the precept, the restraint of actions a bit harder. And the hardest is what? Mental cultivations, to sit still, to anchor your mind to a mental object so that it doesn't waver. As such, we must be able to make the mind to come to the state of calmness, concentrations, and prolong the concentration under the mind. Feel at ease, feel at peace. Then as we contemplate whatever issues that arises, straight away we can see that our suffering, the pain in us is actually our unknown mind. This mind reacts so fast. It's supposing so fast because of the nature. We call it habitual thinking, the pattern kinds of thinking that we develop over the times as a human being. It becomes habitual thinking. The old style of thinking keeps spinning. And it's very hard to dislodge yourself from this kind of thinking. You need calmness. That's why samatha, meditation or tranquility, concentration practice is a must. When your mind is calm, then you see, when your mind is calm, then whatever grief you have, whatever doubts, pain, animosity that give you this pain up deep inside our heart will be clear. We see so clearly the separation of the khanda, of how this body reacts. And when this body send out the signals, how your mind reacts to the feelings, right? Labeling of the feelings, pain, sore throat, eye pain, headache, giddiness, coldness, sore. You see how, what we call that, our perceptions will label, and this analytical part of the mind will start to think and make all sort of story, and you get yourself engrossed with what is happening, the real thing. But if you want to pull back a bit, pull back. When I say pull back, that means you may be thinking, they say, why am I thinking about this subject? You pull back and you look at the thinking itself. They say, oh shit, this mind is creating story all the while. When you are able to look at that, they say, oh, you pull back. They see how this story bigger. You don't get involved, just watch it. And you see that it's a pattern of thoughts. It's just a pattern of thoughts. The pattern of thought has been created or so accumulated by our habitual thinking, our character, the way we think, our intention, and this is how it forms into the way we behave, the way we talk. So it's very, very important that we should be very mindful. Every time, just pull back to the body. Don't watch the mind straight away. Make sure you have a strong foundation of the body. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha always emphasized Kaya, Nupassana, Kaya Kata Sati, your body. Your breath is part of the body. The knowingness of this body sitting here, this awareness of the body is very important. You got to anchor here. Don't let the wild thoughts, the background noise of the mind drag you away from this present moment. There will be a tug of war. We call it tug of war. In these mental meditations practices, it's a tug of war. It takes time, patience, a lot of patience, a lot of patience got to be instilled. Tell yourself, be patient. Or you can just repeat the word patient, 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 until your mind comes to a state of calmness. Then you see the difference. Right? You don't have to believe me. You do for yourself, see for yourself, just at the foot. We look at the foot, well, we might look at the presentation. Oh, look quite nice. But sometimes they forgot to put salt. Not nice at all. It look quite nice, but they forgot to put the salt. And then, hey, how come? See? Likewise with meditations. Likewise. Not everybody sitting still, that means their mind is very calm. Some, their mind is chaotic. The stillness is only the body. It's just the outlook, but inside the mind is all over the place. So it's very important how we relate this mental cultivation in our daily life. It's very important. Nothing is more important than this mind state of yours, of ours. That is the most true jewel, the truth, what we call that, real belongings that really you can bring along. This mind state. This kind of mind state is something that, even you die, what is left behind is only goodness and those unwholesome things that we ever done before. That's all. Nothing left. This body, even this knowing, but what follow is our karma. Remember. So that'll be the sharing for today. And I hope be of good use. The monk will give the blessing now. Rapana. You see, yesterday I read a passage of Luang Pu Khao, Analayo. When he was in meditations, he saw these visions of this lady. And this lady, her head is a tiger head, the body of a human being. This lady always go to the monastery to do dana. So Luang Pu Khao sort of asked her, hey, you used to do dana, no? You used to help the temple. Why you become like that? Become a peta, that means a hungry ghost, lower rank beings. And her answer is because she used to get very angry all the time. When someone says something she doesn't like, she gets very angry, and her anger will stay with her all the time. So this is very important, the mind state, the mental state that a person is dwelling. That's why it's very important. Yeah, it's true in our daily human life engagement. Sometimes you meet with certain things not desirable or not agreeable to your liking or to your own view. You might feel quite frustrated or angry. Now, when you are aware that, you're getting angry because of certain issue, you must quickly tell yourself, don't get angry. Let it go. This anger cannot solve your problem. This anger cannot bring happiness. Okay, let go. Never mind. And it's good to contemplate about death. most of the time. When you start to contemplate about death, sometimes it might ruin your ambitious dream. It might ruin, not all the people, but you need to contemplate because it acts as a break. It acts as a kind of ask you to slow down. Because why? In reality, in life, really, you cannot bring anything along. When we die, nothing. All those big houses, the key will be handed to other people. All your money will be handed to other people. And the body of yours, we can't bring along anything. We're just making use of this present birth, this present body of ours to do goodness now. And because of the interactions, sometimes there may be happiness, sometimes there may be sadness because of circumstances involved. So as a practitioners in Buddhism, we should bear in mind to dwell our mind state in what? Kindness, compassion. This is a very good, we call it human quality to develop. Because when the person is kind and compassionate, you have all this kind of good benefits. You don't hold grudges with anyone. You can sleep well. Why you can sleep well? Because you don't think so much. You don't hold grudges. You always forgive people. Yeah, you forgo whatever people talk about you, or you don't care. You say, it's okay. Leave them alone. And you can sleep well. And why people can't sleep well? Because they think too much. They hold so dearly to their views. They hold so dearly to their pride, and they suffer. And when the people suffer, they can't sleep because inside their heart is bleeding. And this is very, very pitiful. Pitiful for a human being, which everybody is the owner of their own karma. We have a choice, right? Everybody have a choice to make for themselves what their life they want and what brings you happiness. At this present mind state we are dwelling now, are we happy? If your answer is yes, well, congratulations. If no, why? We got the problem why. What causes all this suffering within our own mind? If it is not what we call it, pride, our own views, tithi, mana tithi, a lot of people suffer because of that. I saw a lot of people suffer, and yet they cannot let go because they hold so dearly. Because this kind of view, if they let go of the view, they got nothing to hold on to. That's why meditation is very important. Now, we always encourage people, besides doing dana, you see, even do dana, but you get angry, can become hungry ghosts also. So that cannot enable you the real happiness. Dana cannot help you. Dana can enable you next lifetime very rich, have all this material thing. The precept will enable you to have what? Good reputations, healthy body, long life, good jobs, good family, good companions, and a lot of goodness. But that doesn't guarantee you to have a good mental state. The best is what? Meditations, cultivations of metta bhavana, kindness, to be kind to yourself first. If you cannot be kind to yourself, then you cannot be kind to other people. You must be kind to yourself. If you're kind to yourself, then you won't do those silly things. Sometimes you look at so silly, but what to do? So we have the choice. We always say that we are our own owner of our own actions. So we have the choice. We make the right choice. So by our duty as a monastic members, when you bring food to support the Sangha, we appreciate it, the gift, but nevertheless, we must return something. So it's our duty to keep reminding all the same old subject again and again and again. And some people might say that, why keep repeating all the same old thing, nothing new? Yeah, all the same old thing. Can you fulfill? Can you master it? Can you do it? Because human beings are easily forgotten. A lot of things they hear now, after 5 minutes, they forgot already. They forgot. So we got to keep reminding. And all these reminders are good human quality to be developed. It's for your own welfare and happiness. It's not for anyone. So that will be the sharing for today. And the monk will give the blessing now. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sakarang eva mevanito adina vedanang upakapatit ichitam paditantum hankipameva samichato sape purentu sankapa Chanto panaraso yatha manicho diraso yatha Vidyo vivachantu สัพพะโรโควินาศตุมาเตภวันตรายโยสุขีติขายุโกภวะอาภิวาทนาสิลิสานิจังวุฒาปจายโนจาตารโอธัมมาวดันติอายุวันโนสุขังบาลังอดาสิเมอาคาสิเมยาดิเมตาสักขะจเมเปตานาดากินาดาจาปุเปกัตตามโนสรังดาหิรุณาวาสโกวายาวัญญาปริเดวดานาธัมเปทานมัทายาเอวาดิตาดิยัตโยอายัญจาโคดากินาดินนาสังฆปิสุปฏิทิตาภิการตาอิตายาสาธานาโสปกาปติสยาติธรรมโมจายาดิทัสสิโตเปตานาภูจาจักตาอุลาราบาลัญจาภิกขุนามาโดปาดินังโทเมหิปุญญาปสุตังอนาปกันติภาวะตุสาปมังกาลาราคะตุสาบเดวตานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภาวันตุเตภาวะตุสาปมังกาลังราคะตุสาบเดวตาสัพพะธัมมานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภาวันตุเตภาวะตุสาปมังกาลังราคะตุสาบเดวตาสัพพะสังฆานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภาวันตุเต